Each hero scales at 4%. Some heroes don't scale at 4%, so they can have certain power spikes or start the game as lane bullies and then lose power over it. So Zagara starts with more power than she should have, but I think scales at 3.5 if I remember correctly. Still just interesting that they would do that for Medivh. So what they're saying is health scaling to 4.5 and regeneration scaling, they want him to be more tanky in the late game, but they're willing to sacrifice the early game for that exchange. Arcane Rift, your Q. Damage reduced by 30 to make room for the quest. Hit 40 heroes without dying. Permanently increase Arcane Rift's damage by 75, and the cooldown reduction granted for hitting a hero by 1 second. Because we're increasing that. So what do we used to get? We get 75 damage and increase 1 second. Let's find Medivh. We had to get all the way to 7. So now we have to do an extra 10 hits. Jeez, that doesn't... A whole 7 levels in the way and only an extra 10. That ain't bad. You still get 75 and you still get 1? So they decreased the overall damage of my Arcane Rift. Deals 200 damage. What's my level 1 Arcane Rift doing in game right now? 177. Okay. So my overall damage is slightly lower. I only have to hit 10 more heroes. Sounds like, though, I mean, really getting Master's Touch at 7 is so dangerous because ults come online. You got, well, you got Gorges and stuff, but you've got your portals. So maybe that wasn't such a big deal for him in the first place. But either way, living through the 1 to 7 period is way easier than living through the 7 to 13 period while you grind out those stacks. That's pretty nice. Force of Will, cooldown increased from 5 to 8 seconds. That's my bubble W. It was really 5 seconds? Did I just assume that all Medivhs were amazing, but actually they had a 5-second cooldown the whole time? Either way, they're still amazing, because even safeguarding someone correctly needs an awareness of the game that the orb is flying from Li Ming towards you and you're going to pre-hit it. Either you got to be really twitchy or have amazing game sense. I'm still impressed by either one, but the fact that they've increased that cooldown will now make that even more important. Mana cost increased. Expiration, allies are healed for 20% of the damage absorbed. Neat. So I guess that means we don't have to get all the way to reabsorption, so target 50% of the damage absorbed, but since it's baked in, they lowered it. That makes sense. Portal, cooldown reduced. Cooldown reduced. Mana cost reduced. Huh. Medivh's just talking up a storm in the background. I'm gonna land him. Yeah, there you go. But he's a man. He's a man who turns into a bird. So when he turns into a bird, he starts squawking all the time? Does that mean when he's a man, he sits around just humming to himself? Huh? I love how talkative, particularly mammals and birds are. Lizards, not so much. Not very talkative, not very social. So introducing Counterplay, what they're really saying is there is now a window of opportunity the same length as something like a Flame Strike or a Li Ming Orb, that when you see it come out, you know that you have this window, which is about 8 seconds in most cases. So they're kind of standardizing that, which is really helpful for Counterplay. So you have a standardized window when you see the shield go out, that it then... Actually, a quick question here. Does the shield begin its cooldown while it's active? Yes. Okay, cool. So, question answered. Just making sure that we're not actually dealing with some other inflated number, and it's actually 12 seconds or 9 seconds, because that's a 1.5 second duration. And then it's all talents. Move to 13. Portal Mastery functionality. 1, 2, 4, 1, 1, 1, 1. Geez, 7, 13, 20. Okay, so the only thing we messed with was 20 for invisibility, now named Dust of Disappearance. Why? I mean, I get that that was an item in the shop, but in the Warcraft 3 shop, I guess that's a decent reference, but why? Weird. Go ahead and... I guess we're going to have to go talent by talent here. Let me go ahead and scooch myself on over to this half so that we can get a look at these words as they pop up.
The winds
Let's
of
do...
change are howling.
So we have a general sense of the kind of damage. Well, now let's go. I mean, this is all new. Let's go level by level. Let's not cheat it. Celerity? Dictionary. Increase Raven Form's movement speed bonus by 50%. So we are a bird. And it's a big map like Warhead Junction. So I'm flying. I just want to see this movement speed increase. I mean, it looked like it applied. Because you're doing increasing by 50. We can actually click him right... Oh, he's unselectable in the air. So I guess that means I don't get to see his... Okay, maybe if we stay selected on him. All right, my movement speed is 100%. And now I'm a bird. And it's 130. With my talent, that gives me... Oh, so I'm getting an extra 10 because I get a 50% of 20, which is 10. So from 20 to 30. Cool. Done. Raven's Intellect. Raven form increases Medivh's mana and health regeneration by 75%. Okay. So we land, selected, turn into a bird, turn into a bird. Range, bonus spell. I guess this thing doesn't tell me what my regeneration... Oh, wait, here we go. So 320 and 3.
Yes.
Wow.
Things become
Up to
clearer.
5.6 and 525. That's a pretty good amount of regeneration. It's a really good regeneration. All right, let's go ahead and blow some mana.
I will set things right.
We're crazy, Medivh.
You will not stand in my way. Onward.
I am having no mana issues. Why is that? Oh, refunds 50 mana. There we go. So why would I be concerned about my mana? That seems pretty nice. But if I'm missing, right? Kind of like your Alexstrasza. Horrible health and mana issues if you're missing all your skill shots. Alright, so here's my mana. Ticking along. Ticking along pretty slow-like, one at a time. Well, it's noticeable. Sorry, guys, can't land. I'm regenerating mana. Portal Mastery. Place both portal locations. Mana, 65. 65? I guess... Oh, this is just like the teleport, then, for Twilight Dream Malfurion. Create an entrance. Oh, that's the wrong button. 1, okay. Oh! Oh, I see. So I used the 1 button to place both of those. Gosh, being able to do it in Raven form, that is huge, because the amount of relaxation I can have while not being attacked and getting these laid out correctly is a pretty big deal. Good range on it, too. So that tells me, and then this connects them, so I can do a 1 first and then an E, but... Let's see. Toggle cooldowns, but if I just use E, it does the teleport from me as though I, like, self-cast the 1. Makes it a lot easier to use, for sure. That's nifty. I guess the winds are the only one that's a bit of a bummer, but, you know, that's a Warhead Junction talent anyway. That mana regeneration you really feel, but do you need mana if you hit all your spells and you're playing wrong in the first place because you don't need mana regeneration because you refund if you hit in the first place. People are on your team are losing the game. That's why you have to cast so many Force of Wills in the first place, causing you to go out of mana. So is Raven's Intellect something you would even want? Maybe. Portal Mastery, that's awesome. Let's go to 4 so we can see each of those damage numbers. And we get to skip the walk. So Portal Mastery, that's sexy. Using portals grants armor. First time an ally uses a portal, they gain 25 armor for 4 seconds, reducing... He's just squawking up the storm. 25 armor, 4 seconds, reducing their damage. Gotta land. Oh, allies. Oh, no. First time allies. Okay, but we didn't select the talent, so we don't get to know yet. All right, am I an ally? I am. I am an ally. But only the first time I ride it. Now, I'm pretty sure Raven Familiar was already here. Raven Familiar joins allies each time they use a portal. The Raven will dive at allies for their next basic attack. Oh, Raven will dive at an ally's next basic attack against the hero within 5 seconds, dealing increased damage and slowing them by 30%. Okay, so let's see. That is a level 4 talent. What was the old one? Well, that's nice and zoomed in, but that won't show us what we want. Oh, I see. Okay, so it was up against Master's Touch, which is why we never saw it. But it was really cool. Raven Familiar. Oop. Portal. The Raven will dive at the ally's next basic attack against heroes for damage, but it doesn't slow. And it was a level 7 talent. Did we up the damage by lowering it? I assume we would decrease it. Yes, so we decrease the damage, but a 30% slow for 2.5 seconds. Like, that's pretty hot. I mean, granted, it's up against armor, which feels good for everybody. But that'd only be for engaging. Huh. They're both engaged talents. They're both engaged talents because you would need... The whole point of having armor on the other side of your first run portal is to take damage and take less of it. And your other one... Each time they use a portal, though.
Onward.
Choose a talent. Choose a talent.
That's interesting. So... Gives you a nice little audio signal. Oh, how long are you around for? 4 seconds, right? 5 seconds. That ain't bad. Oh my god. Okay. So in this scenario, for maximum deeps, what I would want to do is like something like that had a minimum range on it, actually. Interesting. Yeah, oh, it does have a minimum range. Okay, so I can't just put them right next to each other and dance, but... Oh. That's really fun. Oh, check it out. So the bird has its own animation that it has to complete. It looks like it has to follow your auto attack after a full circle and then kind of turns back on. Yeah, so he's flying around on a bit of a delay. So if you do this too fast, you actually miss out. So yeah, let's do it too fast, actually. It stayed attached there. Yeah, it gets pulled through the portal with you and resets its animation. So you're gonna have to be careful for maximum damage to actually let the bird engage and fly that last little bit around the back. Damage per second, 140.
Choose a talent.
So let's do an experiment here and see. Okay, so you're adding on about 30 damage a second by doing that.
Choose
That's
a
pretty
talent.
sweet. have a strat where they go Lost Vikings, Medivh for burst damage with the birds. Now, why not Misha? I mean, you know, that you get 3 Lost Vikings targets. How weird. Because back at the summit last April, we heard about a Lost Vikings rework where they were going to do a talent build where they could allow all Vikings to stay in one lane and get benefits from hanging out near each other if you didn't want to do a global Viking play, making them more viable across multiple maps. But we never heard another thing about it. I wonder if this Medivh update delayed that update because they maybe even thought about that. That's interesting. And Misha would be a melee character. No, what? Okay, so are one of the Lost Vikings. So Misha probably wouldn't put out her... What would happen to Misha? When you go through a portal, does Misha... They'll get reworked when they all get found? Nice job. Does Misha go through a portal if Rexar does? Or can you command Misha to go through a portal solo style? Either way, she has to put on auto attack, and some characters simply won't auto attack, like Li Ming's. Very rarely auto attack if they, depending on your style. If you're me, you auto attack a lot because you do stupid auto attack talents on your wizards because they're fun. But depending on your team, they may simply not auto attack. Dust of Appearance. Oh, so they're being cute with Dust of Disappearance. Activate to grant increased sight range for 5 seconds, revealing enemy heroes in an area for 8 seconds. Doesn't cancel Raven form. Increase... We just did Medivh, so pardon me. Medivh's sight range while in Raven form by 25%. Was that changed at all? I don't think so. It sounds spot on. Okay, permanent increase. Ah, so they added a permanent... Oh, so you don't have to stack your talents, the level 1 sight talent, right? Activate to increase the range, 5 seconds. Does not cancel Raven form. So they sort of baked some talents together there. That's nice of them, because before, wasn't it like you had to take 1 talent for mana regeneration? This thing was super clunk, and the 1 button they did is really graceful. There's the vision range. Activate to increase the range, and then on top of that, you had dust. So they did a nice little bake together there and put it on 7. I like that a lot. And now we're just freeing up so much room because Master's Touch isn't sitting there as a required at 7, and we can do other things. I mean, all these talents were really cute, particularly Arcane Explosion and Raven, but you simply didn't take them. It was a dangerous thing to do to skip out on that bonus damage. Alright, so for funsies, we're doing Portal and Raven. Let's advance.
Choose a talent. Choose a talent.
Portal. Raven.
Choose a talent. Choose a talent.
Mystic Assault. If Arcane Rift hits an enemy hero, Medivh's next basic attack within 6 seconds deals 40% more damage and heals for 40% of the damage dealt. Hot. Dang, that's my kind of talent. So, what do I got to do? I got to hit an Arcane Rift. Next basic attack within 6 seconds. Okay.
My destiny awaits.
Am I enhanced? Here, that's my number of hits. How do I know I'm enhanced? I guess I don't. It just crits. So I normally do a 105 at level 7. Not too bad for a wizard. And I can crit for 147.
There is much at stake.
And heals for 40% of the damage dealt. Weird.
Away with you.
It wouldn't be a hearty heal. So that's a heal I just got from that. So let's say I'm doing my Raven thing and I'm throwing in... Well, we're levels higher now, so our damage per second will be different. Interesting. That's really seductive to me as a auto attack player, but that doesn't sound the best. Arcane Explosion. Force of Will expires, deals damage, plus 100% damage prevented, up to 480. limited the amount of damage that reflects out of Arcane Explosion, but we haven't done that to Genji's Deflect. I don't think Genji Deflect is actually... His win rate is fine. It's more of a disappointment factor when... I'm sorry to throw you under the bus, Garrett, but you played Tychus, and I was Alex Straza this past week, and you used your overkill during the Genji dive, and I exploded. Another reason not to play Tychus right now in Diamond. Okay. Let's see it.
Choose a talent. Choose a talent. Choose a talent.
So it's about... So it ends, and I explode for 118. And if here, I take this big ol' hit. Oh, it was in there somewhere. 599. 599 up from... Well, it's 100%, right? Yeah, so you're going to total out at the 480 very, very easily every time. And you get the 20... Oh, okay. I can see why they cap that now. I didn't really think about how easy it might be to get maximum explosions.
I will set things right.
Makes sense. Force of Magic, preventing at least 353 damage with a single cast of Force of Will. Grants 20% spell power for 12 seconds, stacking 2 times. Preventing at least. Oh, well, I mean, if our previous...
Choose a talent.
If our previous selection was any tell, this is very easy to do. Alright, I got a Jingle Jangle. I got a Jingle... There's my Jingle Jangle. So that's spell power. Spell power. Raven Familiar. Raven Familiar. Come on out here. Are you spell damage? Okay, you are. No, you're a crit. You're an auto attack crit. So... Did 180.
The winds of change.
Still going. 120. 120. Oh, because I've stacked twice now. Yeah, I did it twice.
Away with you.
150. Okay, so that does count as spell damage. And on 12 seconds, you can keep that up pretty decently. Huh. So when another thing when they said adding counterplay, what they meant is they're going to reward you further for not targeting during Force of Will. So kind of like your parry talons on Varian. If you don't know about them, you're going to have a bad time. You're going to reset his parry more often. But if you know how Medivh works,
choose a talent.
You're going to have an advantage because you won't give him those resets, or in this case, you won't give him that bonus. 10s appear to be the same. Let's take a look-see. No, okay, cool. 10s have remained the exact same. And we have no level 20 interactions. 80, it's still 40 seconds on the old poly. Let's take a look at 13. Quickening was removed. What was quickening? Quickening was reducing portal cooldowns by 50%. All right. No quickening. Astral projection removed. What was astral projection? It was cast range by 50%. Okay. I guess when you add in counterplay, you don't want to add in more ways for people to become confused about your cooldowns in time along the way. So I wouldn't expect any shield cooldown reduction talents because we put at that perfect 8-second Vault of the Wardens Flame Strike Arcane Orb kind of level. Circle of Protection was moved to 16. Circle of Protection. Oh, moved from 16 perhaps. applied to allies in the area. Yeah, move from. Now applies a talented version of Force of Will to what? Really? Moved from 16. 16. Okay. And that was the reabsorption. Enduring Will. New functionality. Force of Will absorbs damage. It's cooldown. Oh no! They did add a cooldown. Ah! Oh! Whoa! Unexpected. That's scandalous. Reabsorption. Healing 250. Okay. So we got lots of options. I was dead wrong. But it does have an if statement on it. Near that. Oh my goodness. All right, so let's get an ally. Let's get. Oh, you know, maybe Misha, maybe old Rexar will actually. I don't think they'll stand close enough together for us to test it out. But maybe Misha, maybe the AI will want to ride. Hey Rexar, what do you think of that? Yo, okay. There we go. Question answered. Rexar rides solo. And Misha is stuck. I don't think Misha is capable of riding the ride. So if I do Force of Will shields. Okay, they both got it. Expires. Well, I have the explosion. So do they both explode? It appears they both do. Yeah, they both explode. Wow. They put talents on that.
First blood.
Does it work on me if I alt click? It does. With auto attack talents, I might actually be alt clicking from inside. What's my range? My range is 5.5. Okay, so I'll be in a bit of a backline position. Kind of have to be right on top of them, don't you? To get that benefit. That's pretty nutty. Wait, Rexar despawned, but Misha's all alone now. And just like a dog. Oh no, just gonna go sit in the corner until Rexar comes home. That's heartbreaking, Misha. Well, we'll bring him out again sometime. That's sad. So, 50% absorbed. You can max it out now at 13, back to its old amount. Reduce its cooldown by 3 seconds. Well, hot dang. Too bad you can't have both, but those are both real good. I see myself doing Circle of Protection because it's easy. Enduring Will, reabsorption though. That's crazy.
Choose a talent.
Let's go to 16.
Choose a talent.
Fly over poor Misha.
Choose a talent.
So we've got fun stuff. Let's do explosions for now. No reason at all.
Choose a
Why?
talent.
Polymorph.
Choose
Circle
a
of
talent.
Protection. All right, let's get a feel for 16. Arcane Charge, move to 7. Arcane Charge. Wait, Arcane Charge? Arcane Charge. Moved from 7. Arcane Rift damages a hero. Next one does 30% more. Moved from 7. Damage boost. What? Why? That's almost as bummerific as that Malthael mortality move. I love that thing at 7, and then they went and stuck it at 16. And then what? They go and reduce the damage. That doesn't make much sense, but maybe we'll see why. Stable portal. Reduce cooldown by 25%. Increase portals. Oh, wow. They put them both together. I didn't think they would mess with this. Does Medivh's Force of Will stop last rites? Good question. It does apply damage, doesn't it? And you're protected, which means you receive no damage. So I'd say yes. My answer would be yes. Because even pure damage doesn't apply under shield. So you're doing a Tychus burn, and to a Zarya, you're not applying that percent-based damage under her shields, it's hitting the shields itself. That'd be my guess, though. That's a interesting question. I think he'd survive, just like a Pyroblast. But what kind of damage would you get, and would you get health back for that damage you absorbed, and would it go on some sort of infinite loop? That's an interesting question. New talent, Temporal Flux. Basic attacks reduce Medivh's heroic cooldown. Wow, a heroic cooldown reduction on a level 16 talent. Hitting enemy heroes with Arcane Rift reduces Medivh's cooldowns of his heroic by 3 seconds. Interesting. So you do mess with your cooldowns quite a bit in late game, which is why you scale higher as the game goes on, because you become more tricky and more difficult to deal with. So maybe you should be countered. So you're at less power early in the game. That's why they did the scaling. They wanted you to have less health at the start of the game, so you can't instantly grind it up. You have a good chance to die. But as the game goes on and more tricks come online, Medivh becomes more resilient, is able to pull off more, and has a greater chance of completing his, what's it called? His Arcane Rift quest later on. So it's almost like Convection. If Convection was baked in, maybe the area effect of Flame Strike would increase, make it easier as the game goes on, perhaps. Still very spooky. This is a lot of power. Granted, we're not hitting real people and seeing them dodge or anything like that. So I hit a hero, and the next one does more damage. 319. 366. And that's permanent. Oh no, those are my stacks, but I'm blinking here because I'm charged, so let's go ahead and miss. Let's go ahead and complete our quest too, to see what that damage looks like. Oh, I guess if you're spamming like that. Let's go ahead and miss. It's not that huge. But if you're efficiently spamming, let's go ahead and turn off our toggled cooldowns. I mean, it's a spam for sure. Because when I complete my quest, I get an additional 1 second of cooldown. Reduces the cooldown by 5 seconds on a 7-second cast for 2 seconds, but on quest completion. Because of the fly time, as this flies through the air, I'm already at about half into my 7-second. That's why I'm able to look like I'm actually getting an instant reset, because the fly time. But then I hit, and I get that 5 seconds, now 6 seconds with quest completion off. Cool. So I see why that's powerful and why it may have needed to be coaxed in a bit. Basic attacks, Arcane Rift. Cooldown, what does this put it to? So I'm at 16 seconds.
Choose a talent. Choose a talent. Choose a talent.
12 seconds. Not too bad. Duration by 50% too. That's pretty good for my cute little Raven build. Particularly if I'm laying them out ahead of time. Well, let's go ahead and test this out.
Choose a talent. Choose a talent.
We'll do the big one.
Choose a talent.
Okay, it's out. Do I have to hit certain things with my talent? Basic attacks reduce enemy heroes hit. Okay, cool. So this basic attack reduces me by 1 second. This basic attack. This basic attack. Cool. So my basic attacks apply to non-heroes. So I could go help with a camp or something if I really wanted to. But I gotta get heroes for the biggin. It's probably the one I'll play with because it's the most fun. And then the only change at level 20 seems to be that invisibility was renamed to Dust of Disappearance. It doesn't look like there's anything else. Arcane Brilliance, 10% spell power, Guardian, insta-clear. Medivh cheats, is able to change the direction of his time stop. Of the time stop, I guess that's the ability of it, and Polybomb explodes 1 second sooner.
Of course.
Okay. Well, that's pretty sweet. I'm a bit shocked. He seems very good, but it's a very unique kit. You'd have to specialize into him to get good.